Hello, I'm Srishti. Today, I want to share a few things that I wish I knew earlier about taking care of indoor plants. I killed a few of them due to some reasons that I want to discuss with you guys. And if you are in the beginning stage of collecting plants, this video might serve you well. I hope you learn from my mistakes and I hope you save plants from dying. So number 1 is overwatering. This is the most common plant mistake that we tend to do. I guess people tend to overlove plants, which leads to overwatering, and there can be root rots. Roots growing in the waterlogged soil may die because they cannot absorb the air needed to function normally. The longer the air is cut off, the greater the root damage. The roots decay and cannot supply the plants with nutrients and water. I used to water all my plants every 4 to 5 days before checking whether or not the soil is completely dried up. This is a common mistake, and I realized that different plants have different tendencies to absorb water. And now I check if the soil is completely dried by inserting a bamboo chopstick. If the chopstick comes up dried, it's time to water, and if not, I just let them be. In this way, I'm preventing roots from rotting, hopefully. Number 2, not checking how much water the plant really needs. We all have a plate or a planter that carries the water if the soil throws away excess water, and that is called a drainage plate, or I like to call it a collector plate. So, what I would do is that I would heavily water the plant without checking on the excess water the soil throws away from the drainage hole. And if there had been water coming out of the drainage hole, I would not even care and let it sit like that, which happens to be wrong. You see, the roots need air, and if the water blocks it, there can be root rots. So it's really important to keep the track of checking the plate. Also, now, I provide a decent amount of water, then wait for it to emerge out of the drainage hole. Then again, check on the plant and water them if required. It lets me know the approximate amount of water each type of plant actually requires. Number 3, dusty leaves. Personally, I'm a person who doesn't really like dusty stuffs. So when I was in the phase of collecting plants, I used to do the dusting. I used to wipe the surface of the leaves with a damp cloth, and it would make all the dust and dirt go away, which happens to boost the photosynthesis process and help the plant develop more. I remember when my mom didn't have any idea how to take care of peace lily. It was sitting outside of my house in the shade, all dusty, and it almost looked like a dead plant. I googled the way to save it, and to this date, I am still cleaning each and every leaf of my plants, and I do that every week. Number 4, careful with the succulents. When I first started to collect plants, which basically means that I wanted to keep 1 or 2 plants in my room, and we had this syngonium and a succulent in our balcony. I just wanted a plant. I didn't know about succulents back then. So I had 2 plants, kept both of them in medium-low light. Syngonium was kind of easy to take care of surviving in low light, but the succulent elongated with the leaves far apart while it was growing. Also, one of my closest friends gifted me with 18 different baby succulent plants. Again, I kept them in my room but not in direct sunlight, and the same thing happened. I didn't know what was happening, so I googled and found out that the succulents are the easiest plants to take care of, and all they need was some water and enough sunlight. And of course, some of them died, which still breaks my heart, and I wish I knew that earlier. Number 5, not repotting. You see, I have never realized up until now that we need to repot the plant quite often. Otherwise, no matter how good the soil is, the roots will capture all of it and will make the soil stiff. This might create a problem in watering as the stiff soil won't be able to absorb a good amount of water. It also stresses the pot, eventually breaking it. It happens to me quite often. The frequency of repotting can vary, but for indoor plants, I suggest you to repot once or twice a year. Number 6. Not caring about dead leaves. With time, plants get old and so are their leaves. The leaves might dry and eventually fall if they are old or they thrive in water or sunlight. I tend to leave the leaves and not care about them that much, but it seems that regular trimming of dead leaves and branches is very important. They amplify the beauty of the plant as well. Number 7. Plants in water care. When I started collecting plants, the clear vase with water showing of roots attracted me so much. So I decided to have most of the plants in a clear glass vase. But I realized that it becomes quite hectic when it comes to taking care of plants in water, as it requires frequent water changes. Else, there will be root rots and it will smell really bad. Normally, water changing frequency is every 3 to 4 days. And now I'm slowly beginning to repot the plants in the soil and have more plants that rely on the soil than on water only. Number 8. No chemical fertilizers. While taking care of plants, I never use chemical fertilizers or plant food. I just use coco peat, sand, soil, and a little bit of compost. I also spray some plain water so that my indoor plant gets healthier. So now, this concludes my video, guys. These were some mistakes that I made whilst in the process of becoming a plant mother, which wasn't easy for sure. If you made it to this, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Also, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends. Thank you. Stay safe. Take care. Bye-bye.